Welcome to the Friday Arse from Arse Bros. Guys, I am fucking freezing. My wife literally just turned around and said, "You're not turning the heating on, grab a fucking jumper, you fanny." Pretty much in them words. This is why I've got the hood up. I'm absolutely stone cold. Nah, she didn't say that really. If she did, I think she'll be outside the door in a minute shouting at me saying, "I didn't fucking say it." So we'll leave it there. But guys, welcome. Corey, how we doing, mate?
I'm not too. I'm cold as well. I've got the little top on as well. So yeah, I'm with you,
mate. I've gone all
it's
out.
Cold. Oh, you got the North Face on.
I've got winter packs on. Tanner, how's it going, mate? Thank you for
good, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on. Pleasure to be here. Looking forward to it.
No problem, mate. No problem, Manny.
I'm going Kieran Tierney style.
It's
about the same temperature here, but I got short sleeves and so
and a warm like fire or radiator or something next to you.
No.
Manny, he's come out of hibernation.
Yeah, and you know what? It's warm where I'm at, bruv. It's nice and warm, nice and toasty, man. I'm chilling. What's wrong with you lot?
heating bills too much, expensive.
Man, I'll take the hit. I'm not being cold. I don't function in these climates, man. How you guys doing anyway, man?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good.
Good, man.
All good, man. Safe, healthy. So we could ask for right now.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Amen to that.
Good to hear, man. It's pretty good.
Right. Well, we'll get into it. We've got Southampton twice away coming up in the next few days. One tomorrow at 12:15 kickoff, and I have got the fixtures up here today. I'm prepared for once. And then one on Tuesday at 8:15.
Late one. Yeah, another late one.
8:15. Absolute bollocks for us in the UK. Not too bad for you in the US. You know, it's sort of around the
thing that sucks
time.
about it in the US is I'm right at it's tea time for me, but I'm at work, so it kind of sucks. I don't can't watch. So.
It's better for us then. So when these late ones come on and they're a bit boring, it's very hard to fight that sleep.
It is.
Yeah.
See, what's weird is that over here, anything that gets like all of our sporting events, if it's like hockey, basketball, baseball, it's all prime time. It's all played at 7, 8 o'clock in the evening for us. Even American football games. If you play at Monday night football, Sunday night football, Thursday night football, it's all prime time. Those are big games. People really over here, they get up for that stuff. So.
Nah, not across here, especially during the winter. You're in a nice warm house. You filled your stomach with some nice hot food. You're onto your alcohol. You're pretty much half asleep by 8:15. I am anyway. This is what I made a point of last time. When we played Newcastle at this sort of time, I was like, "Oh, I'm hanging. I can't do this no more." It doesn't help when the boring games either. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't want from these two. These two games coming up. First one is the 4th round of the FA Cup. I'm not expecting loads. Corey, what are you expecting?
I mean, how many times are we going to play Southampton? We played them last month, didn't we? It's actually on my birthday, that match. Went down to 10 men. Gabriel, sent off. Have we seen him since? I don't think we've seen Gabriel.
No.
Have we seen Gabriel since? No.
Nope.
So it's the last time we saw Gabriel.
He caught COVID, didn't he? And then he's not. I think he's back now. He's available, but he's not actually been back in yet.
Yeah. So we managed to get a point there despite going down to 10 men. So that kind of gives me a bit of confidence going into this match where I think they're going to rotate. They just played Shrewsbury the other day, about 3 days ago. They rotated the team. I think Ward-Prowse was still playing, but I think the rest of the team looked a bit different to what we normally see from Southampton. So I don't think they're going to be too tired coming into this match because the guys that will play would have had that day off. So I mean, I looked up a few stats beforehand, and Southampton don't have a good record against us in the FA Cup. I don't think they haven't beaten us in that cup for a long time. When we have beaten them, we've gone on to reach the final. So they're kind of like a sort of good luck team for us in that way. Yeah, I think the likes of like Bertram and Ings and Adams will come back in. They can always be dangerous, but we're in a good moment. We like this cup. I feel
it's our cup though, mate. It's our cup.
It's our cup, yeah. So I feel like we could get a good result against them.
We are the current record holders as well. 14 times we've won this cup, this competition. Tanner, what are your thoughts on this game coming up?
I think we'll come out with a strong side. I think Matt Ryan's gonna get the start in goal. How much settling in does he really need to do? He's been in the Prem now for 4 or 5 years, 4 years or so since Brighton came back up, and they've maintained. So I think that's a good little bit of business for us. He seemed to be out of favor down south with the Seagulls. So like that, get him in there, and hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he won't shit the bed for us in his first start. But yeah, like Cory said, I think Southampton's going to come out with a pretty strong side. I think we will as well. So just pretty much echo everything you guys just said. It's our cup, and take it seriously, and just continue this momentum. Like Cory said, we're in a real good moment right now, and just got to keep the ball rolling here. One day at a time, but keep it going, and then look ahead to Tuesday. So.
Well, this is the issue, isn't it? With it being such a short span in between games, the team that we're going to be fielding, do we field a really strong side? Do we feel a partially strong side, and then a partially strong side on Tuesday, or a couple of decent, a couple of our, experienced players with a load of the youngsters? It's really difficult to tell what's going to happen with them being such a short space. And then we've got Manchester United coming up on the Saturday after.
Yeah, the one nice thing about the FA Cup is we get to use all five. So we get to use 5 substitutes. So that hopefully, in terms of rotation and rest, if you will, hopefully the 5 subs. That's I said on Same Old earlier in the week. This is really where I think Mikel Arteta is going to have a chance to really earn his money, because these 2 games he's really going to have to use those 5 subs. And use them correctly in order to keep guys rested and ready to go for Tuesday.
Oh, definitely. Manny, what are your takes on it, mate?
To be honest with you, I just want to see a good cup tie. I think Arteta is going to go strong. I think he's going to go strong with little changes here and there. I think Gabriel will come in. I think El Neni will come in, give Partey a bit of a break. I think it'll probably be mix and match, and he'll go for it in the league. I just want to see a competitive cup game. I haven't watched Arsenal since Rapid Vienna in the Euro League. Personal choice, my own personal choice. So I'm looking forward to seeing a good game. I'm looking forward to seeing how we've improved. And I'm hoping for some good news on the transfer front as well, outgoing. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't care who plays. I'm just looking forward to seeing the team play.
Oh, it's fair enough. We are going to get onto the transfer market towards when we get through this Southampton bit. So we'll try not to go into it too much now, but yeah, players. Go on, mate.
Yeah, no. If you're going to talk about like who we actually think is going to play,
that's.
I think the last FA Cup match Pepe did play. Didn't he did he score a penalty? Didn't he? I think he did.
Was that against Newcastle? That was our last game, wasn't it? I can't remember, mate. It was that long ago.
Yeah,
but I think we're going to see Pepe. There's certain players that it's getting a bit awkward now, that we're not seeing them sort of in the league, starting league games and whatnot. So, and even though they're completely fit. So Pepe is one of them. Willian is another one. I think we're going to see Nketiah as well. He will.
I think they're going to. I agree. Eddie's going to. I think Eddie will get a shout this game.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Gabriel. I think we're going to see. I'm interested to see what we do with Cedric, because I liked how he played against Newcastle the other night. I think he was solid, defensively and offensively. He didn't do anything wrong. He did contribute to the good moments that we had in that game. Now, if he plays against Southampton in the FA Cup, I assume that Bellerin is going to come back for the league match, but I would prefer to see that the other way around. and I prefer Bellerin to play this match and to show something, and Cedric to play in the league game, because I really do feel like Cedric was one of the positives in our team in that game. So and he played in a way that I haven't really seen Bellerin play. Bellerin has had a couple of good performances here and there, but Cedric hasn't played that consistently, but he was still able to come in and make an impact. So I'll be interested in that position as well. Left back as well. I mean, can we afford to play Tierney in both games? So it's like, who's going to play there? That's interesting.
I think AMN's going to come in this game. Whether it's going to be a back four or a back five, who knows until tomorrow. But AMN didn't really do well in a back four last time out. So I don't think he's going to revert to a back five just to suit Maitland-Niles.
Yeah. I think he's had the training. I'm sure if he's sort of just in training, they've consistently played him at left back for him to kind of sort of get used to it a bit more. I think it's worth throwing him in again. I said that on the last show as well. I don't think you just put someone in once, they have a bad game, and then that's it. It's kind of not fair. And I think Matt Ryan should start as well. I think that's the benefit of buying a tried and tested Premier League goalkeeper. He doesn't have to warm up or get used to anything. You can just throw him in straight away in a match like this. So looking forward to seeing him as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Tanner, have you got anything different you'd like to say about the team lineups or anything like that? Who do you expect to see? Who do you want to see?
I mean, who I'd like to see. I mean, I'd really like to see Balogun get in the game. But as far as the guys that are getting, as far as the regulars are concerned, I'm with Cory here. I think Maitland-Niles will come in at some point if he doesn't start. I think we'll see him at some point. I think we'll see Joe Willock at some point as well. Eddie, Pepe, Willian, and this is where, like I said, I'm going to go back to the 5 substitutes thing. Theoretically, we could, kind of trot the same lineup out there that we've, been going with. Lacazette, leading the line, ESR behind, Bukayo Saka out on the right. Hopefully, Gabriel Martinelli gets back in as well somewhere. Do you maybe sit Aubameyang down, give him a rest? Although he, coming off a 2-goal performance, I'd almost keep him going to try to keep that confidence going. And I'll say this a little tongue in cheek, but hey, maybe Ryan Bertrand can start on Tuesday if we could get him in time. Seeing as how that seems to be the next big rumor coming through. But like Cory said, it's going to be the usual suspects: Eddie, Joe, AMN. These guys should all be getting a shout at some point, whether they start or whether they come on as a sub on Saturday, tomorrow. So
that's fair enough. I ain't got really much to say differently, to be honest with you. Good to see Eddie come. I reckon Eddie will come back in. I'm expecting to see Nelson at some point in that match. I'm just sort of expecting it, whether to see him come in off the bench and possibly do something, because I can looks like to me he could be maybe going on loan. I haven't seen anything. It's just my opinion why he's not really been starting very often. I think he'd probably come in to show him off a bit, to maybe go out on loan. Other than that, I don't know. I agree with you about Aubameyang, Tanner, but I also think you can't really leave Martinelli out at the minute. That's the only issue with having Aubameyang in, is leaving Martinelli out.
Yeah.
And the energy and everything else he comes in, but I'd rather see him in the league game than I would in the FA Cup.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I think with Martinelli, we'll start this match, and we got 5 subs, so guys like Saka, Smith Rowe, they ain't starting 100%. But because we'll wait. He'll play a team. He'll wait and see how they get on. He'll play the Williams and Pepe's. He'll play Martinelli, see how they get on, and then if need be, 60-65 minutes. We're behind or it's still 0-0, then we might see the Sakas and Smith Rowes and Aubameyangs. But I think he'll rotate heavy to start the match.
Yeah, I agree. And since we're talking about Matt Ryan, who's just come in, he signed, was it earlier on today or yesterday?
I saw it announced today, and I saw his interviews and whatnot today.
He's been given the number 33 shirt. Again, how much training does a keeper need to be in a team? If he's good with his feet, which I from what I remember, he was. He didn't get into the Brighton side a lot. Is it Sanchez, their keeper at the minute?
Yeah,
who's keeping him out? Yeah. Again, I don't know why. Was he injured or something before Sanchez took over? Because he wasn't doing bad. When I remember when he was at Brighton, he wasn't a bad keeper. But I have seen a lot of talk about him at the minute, saying, "Oh, he's Brighton's second fiddle, this, that, and the other." When he does play, he plays. He's crap. But I'm going to say something about a comment that I saw earlier on in a private chat that me and Cory are in on another thing. It's by Big Steve, who comes on the show regularly, and he's in the chat now, so I think he'll appreciate this. He made a point which I thought right on. Brighton only put Matt Ryan in against the big teams through the season and since he got since Sanchez come over. So obviously when you look at Matt Ryan's recent starts, it hasn't been great because he's been playing against the big teans.
That's a good point.
So, for a second fiddle after Runnison, why not? He's a good keeper.
You can't really do any worse than Runnison, right?
There is that.
Yeah, no, he's decent. That's a cool. It's a decent signing. I mean, one thing I'm like, whoa, it's like since Arteta's come in, like we are like loan city, man. Like it's a lot of loans. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's expected with the current climate that we're in, with everything. Yeah. The world's basically taking a shit.
Kinda.
I think loans are going to be the big things kicking about.
But we're sort of ins and outs, in terms of us, like how much loanees we've got out, and and then what we've come in and stuff. We're still a bit more than other clubs. I don't really see too many other clubs sort of getting these loans in like we are. Loan keepers.
Business. It's good business.
Kinda.
If you don't work out, you see you later. You're not asked to deal with.
Maybe, but then, all right. Look, when we got Cedric on loan, and we got Pablo Mari on loan. Yeah, and obviously they were but it was with a mind to sort of sign them permanently. But that's how. But it's still quite unusual. You don't really see Man United because I still consider Arsenal a big club. But it's unusual for a big club to get this many loan signings in. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, and so it's just getting someone like Matt Ryan on loan, cool. I can get that because it's like we've got Runnison, he's a bit younger, he's not used to things here, he's not used to the league, he's not used to this level. He may need time to get used to it. So, and we don't want to have to rely on him should anything happen to Leno. So I get that.
This is true, yeah.
But
I think Runnison, it's a big ask if Leno. If he has an injury like he did last season, it's a big ask for someone like Runnison to jump up to this level. After the mistakes that he made recently, it's going to happen. He's going to make mistakes. He's not really young. What is he? 24. But like you said, he's new to the Premier League. It's completely different to League One.
Yeah, exactly. But Matt Ryan's not old. He's what, 28?
No, right. He's only 28. Yeah.
So you know what I mean, and I think he's the type of keeper like he talked earlier about like sort of watching Arsenal in the Champions League when he was a kid and blah blah blah. So if we wanted to sign him permanently, I think we could have, but we have sort of chosen to go down the loan route. It's just interesting. I just feel like it's that the loans are something that we're really doing a lot of. However, I'm a little bit concerned about how much money we kind of piss away.
You've brought me to a good point here, actually, because Hambo Gumball said it here, and I was going to say the same. The loans could be down. Hambo's put maybe the loans could be down to the fact that Arsenal spent 190 million on transfer outgoings and not recruit a penny on the free transfers, not including wages. It's a really good point because we have pissed away 190 million, and most of them have walked out the door.
How much? I mean, we loaned what's that guy's name? It's Suarez from Barcelona. Dennis Suarez. Yeah. How much did that cost? And was it worth it?
No, it wasn't. It
wasn't. Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it was worth nothing. It wasn't worth it. So
yeah, and then we've got Ceballos again this year. I don't know exactly how much that costs, but I know it ain't going to be that cheap. Getting loans from Real Madrid, right? Are we getting value for money? You know, he's not starting, so he's not that needed, to be fair. There's more money that we're not going to get. He's going to go back to Madrid. He's not going to be our player. So it's just money that we would have spent for this season. Now we've given Brighton some more money for a backup goalkeeper. It's looking like we're going to give Real Madrid some more money for Odegaard. We're not getting any of this money back. It's just one way. You know, it's not. These are not investments. And then on top, and then like that guy mentioned, you know, 190 million on transfers, and we haven't got fuck all back. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
that's the dross that we've been recruiting. In fairness, and you know, Big Steve makes a point here. But if we paid a fee, we'd be paying more. Which, you know, if we bought him, we'd be paying a lot more than what we would on loan. I think Cedric is one. I think that you were talking about. We paid 5 million for him, but it reported 5 million just to bring him on loan.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's true, whether it's not, it is a lot of money just for someone alone. But you know, luckily, we signed him.
But he didn't.
Yeah,
play.
He didn't play at all, did he?
He didn't play. So we literally just could have waited until. I know hindsight is 2020, but we could have waited and just got him on a free anyway. But instead, we chose to give them that loan fee. So we're wasting money, man. And you know, and even with Socrates and Ozil and these guys, it's getting contracts cancelled. You know, it's just, again, it's like assets like that. So an asset like Ozil, you should get a return on, but we didn't.
Well, we'll get into the Ozil. I think Manny would like to jump into him at some point. I know he'd love to get in on that one. But before we do get on Ozil, Manny, have you got anything you'd like to say quickly about incomings and outgoings at the moment, other than Ozil right now?
Other than Ozil, you know what? Pissing money away is what Arsenal have been doing for years. You know, so we don't know how to sell, we don't know how to buy, we don't know how to use our money wisely. At the end of the day, knowing that, you know, we're in this current situation with COVID and we haven't got any money, period, I'm happy to see players coming in because we need them. So I'm not going to complain of the caliber of players that are coming in. I'm just happy that we're trying to address, you know, certain issues that we have. I'm more happy with the outgoings. So
I'm
happy to see
some good outgoings at the moment.
100%. I'm happy to see a Matt Ryan come in if I don't have to see you hoof-footed Kolasinac ever play football for Arsenal again. You know, Socrates wasn't that bad, but useless. That's a waste of money. We've wasted more money in the last 6 months than we will in the next 6 months, paying dross, paying garbage. So I'm not going to complain if we're trying to bring players in to strengthen us for the second half of the season. So piss the money away. Just make sure the gamble pays off. If it doesn't, it's their money. That's what Arsenal do. So we just have to deal with it. We just need to start acting like a big club. I wanted us to start acting like a big club. Stop terminating contracts. Stop moving players on, and stop playing for players who you're not going to play, and who suck, who've been stinking out the place for so long. So I'm not going to complain about who's going to come in. Just strengthen the squad and let's go again.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think with Matt Ryan, obviously we only had Runnison as backup to Leno, so it made sense for him to come in. There's also been, you know, getting rid of the likes of Kolasinac, who went off earlier on in the transfer window. Saliba went to Nice. Socrates has just recently had his contract mutually terminated. It gets these players off our books, so when it comes to the summertime, it's, you know, it recruits a bit of money, doesn't it? I think, you know, it's getting rid of the likes of early anyway, Socrates and stuff. It makes sense because they're not playing. Why pay them? Get rid of them.
Why aren't they playing?
Well,
no, they're not that shit. They're not that shit.
They're not shit. They're not. But if you look at for instance, you look at Kolasinac was shit. But if you look at Socrates, he wasn't great. But he was solid in some respects. But if you look at our defense at the minute, you know, as a centre back position, we had almost 9 players who could play centre back. We didn't need that many. Yeah,
but he's not. You know, he's not the guy that you don't even register for the squad.
He was. That's the problem.
I know. Yeah, but that's stupid. It's like if we're talking about like how the club is run and who's making these decisions, I've got to put it down to Arteta, because he knows who he wants in his squad, right? If you really want to devalue a player, right, then do what he's been doing.
Don't play him.
Don't play. You don't even register him. Like we could have got a return on him. Like he's not that bad. He always gave 100%. I didn't see a problem with his attitude, with his application. Like, in terms of like, did he want Arsenal to win? Was he mentally there in the games? Yeah, he was. So I was quite surprised when he wasn't even registered. Same with like Saliba. You know what I mean? Like Saliba,
I think Saliba's a completely different story. It
is a different story, but we're talking about, we bought a defender, and you say, oh, we've got a lot of defenders. Okay, but we bought him. Yeah, he's gone back. He's gone on loan, and then we just totally fucked around with him. Do you know what I mean? Not registered him for the squad. He's had a waste of half a season. It's at a point. This is not normal. Like I don't want anyone to look at this and be like, this is normal for a football club to do.
It's not normal. It's by far from normal.
So we're as fans, we're sort of sitting down looking at it like, oh yeah, well, he wasn't playing, so he wasn't get registered. Oh, even with Ozil, that is not a normal situation. That is a by far abnormal situation. That at one point we value a player so highly that we make him our highest paid player ever. Yeah. And then he goes from that to not being registered for the squad. We devalue him completely. Yeah. So we can't get a return on him. And then we let him go for nothing.
Right.
And who knows if we had to pay him off as well? Sorry.
We'll get on with the Ozil now. And we're just going to get into it. That cunt devalued himself. Let's be honest here. He devalued himself for a reason.
I think it's actually with Ozil, and I don't know if you guys caught the show on Tuesday or not. Can I just stop you there? Sorry, Tanner. Just quick. Yeah, no.
I have watched your shows before, mate, but when they're 4 hours long, fuck me. Come on. It's 4 hours.
We try like every night. We're like, all right, hour and a half, boys, hour and a half. Yeah, we hit the 2 hour mark, and it's like, should probably knock it off now. I think maybe we should stop because we've probably, but it's funny. I mean, Mike, you can see in your top left corner there, you could see the tally of who's watching live. And it's funny for us because as we get later in our show, the live viewership numbers keep going up. The later it gets, the more viewers it's crazy. I don't know why, but yeah.
You need to start later then, mate.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. I said, guys, we ought to start this at like 10:30. We'd start right off the bat with 75 viewers or something. But now the Ozil thing, I'm kind of halfway in the middle here because who knows what I don't know. I don't want to bogart the conversation here. If you're not ready to dive into Ozil, I'll shut my mouth.
No, let's go. We're getting into it.
Somewhere in the middle of what everybody thinks, meaning supporters, somewhere in the middle lies the truth. Because you have a faction of supporters who say, he was shit. He never wanted to play. He was always hurt, all this and that. But then there's another faction of supporters, the ones that love Mesut Ozil, who say, no, this was all the club. The club buried him. They never should have done that. Somewhere in the middle of that is the truth. You know what I mean? And that's where I stand on it. It's awful business. Corey's absolutely right with everything that he just said. This is awful business. Who do you blame? You have to go back to, much as I hate this, you have to go back to Wenger. You have to go back to Ivan Gazidis. They're the ones who really started this awful process of bringing in players, giving them enormous wages, and then either terminating their contract, like Corey said, or letting them walk for nothing. Mesut Ozil is just another in that line of players that we've just incredibly mismanaged, whether it be on the pitch or their contract off the pitch. But Ozil's not, and I'm not defending him by any stretch of the imagination, because I think both parties, in my opinion, are equally guilty in the Mesut Ozil situation. So I was always of the mind that if you're paying him, he should be available to play, because this is any of us. If any of us owned a business, if you guys were my employees, I'm not going to pay you to stay home and not come to work. Like there somewhere you're going to have a value to me if I'm paying you, and if you don't want him to play, terminate the contract early. Just get it done and over with. They let this drag out for a year and a half. That's the part I don't understand.
The problem is you've got to remember the things that Ozil was when he was playing. When under Wenger he was playing, sometimes he turned up, sometimes he didn't. Emery when he came in, sometimes he turned up, sometimes he didn't. You know, it wasn't that often. And then I think when that Emery era started, he realised down the line how can I put this nicely? How much of a twat he really was. You know, it's go on. I'll let Manny go for it.
I'm kind of sitting in silence because one, I need to go in a bit because something's cropped up, but I'm going to come in on this and say this, you know, quite bluntly. Mesut Ozil failed at Arsenal because of Mesut Ozil, nobody else. If you're paying somebody 350k a week, that means you're putting faith in him and you're saying, you know what, you are my guy. The return on investment is Ozil, you prove to us why we're paying that money. And in the last 2 seasons, right? In the last 2 seasons, he's given us 4 assists. It's taken Emil Smith-Rowe 6 games to match Ozil's tally for 2 seasons. And we're paying you 350k a week. See, Arsenal did fuck up by giving him that contract. It does start with Wenger and Gazidis. They pissed away our money in 2015. You know, Petr Cech, Gabriel, Mustafi, Xhaka, the list goes on, We can go on and on and on. We can talk about this forever. But if we're paying Mesut Ozil, right? If we're paying him that money, prove it. Prove your worth. Prove to us that you're worth 350k a week. What has he given us back? Value for money? We put faith in him. Why should he be in the squad if he can't contribute to the squad? Why is it taking a 20-year-old 6 games, a novice at this level, 6 games to match the great Mesut Ozil? 2 seasons worth of football. So what is his value? Nothing. Period. So the club messed up. We know this, but Mesut Ozil did nothing for us on that football pitch apart from show us.
He's gone. You've moved away from your mic, mate.
I'm still here, mate. I'm still here. My phone is dying. But listen,
the powder dry for Wednesday, as our leader Max has said. Keep the powder dry for Wednesday for the great debate. If no one's heard yet, anybody in the chat on Wednesday, there is going to be.
I'll be a lot nicer. I'll be a lot nicer on Wednesday, mate. Trust me about that. I'll be a lot nicer. But basically, listen, the club messed up, but Mesut Ozil showed us exactly what he is: greed, a myth, no talent. It's just as simple as that. He conned us on both sides of the ball. It's just as simple as that. But listen, gents, I got ahead of. Go ahead, Cory.
Sorry, Manny's not wrong. Yeah, he's right in everything that he's saying. Yeah, but you don't let players get away with that. Do you know what I mean? You can't be like, all right, you're going to sign this contract. All right, now I'm going to be a prick. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to be shit. Yeah, but we're locked into a contract, so keep paying me.
That's the mentality.
Yeah,
that's the mentality. Yeah,
but that. We just let that happen. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you want to be a prick, yeah? Okay, you want to be shit, you don't want to try it. All right, cool. We're just gonna let you just sit on your ass at home.
I mean, he was happy to do that.
Yeah,
he was happy to do that because he had no ambition about himself. Mesut Ozil had no sort of ambition to be great. He was happy to sit on a contract of a lifetime that we offered him. This is Arsenal's fault. But when we're giving you loyalty bonuses and you're sitting on the bench and you're not even, in the match day squads, of course you're going to, not want to leave. Of course he's going to hold himself down. He's got a contract at the end of the day. And he's doing his part by honoring that contract. We gave him that contract. That's our fault. We gave him the tools to be a dick. We did. It's just that simple. Yeah. And he treated us like we're,
Yep, that's exactly right. Wenger's the one that perpetuated this with him because Ozil would show up on a match and like, boss, you know what? I slept wrong last night. My back, I can't go. At Newcastle when there's a foot of snow on the ground and he doesn't want to play because he no offense, guys, but because he's cold. and that's it. And Wenger's the one that let him get away with that. So Mike, man, he's absolutely right. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And like Mike Hertz has said in the comments here, and I've had it up for a while because I was going to try and jump in, but everyone's just going for it.
Sorry.
I ain't got no issue. Go for it. But I just want to jump in here, and he did actually say if he actually performed, his wages wouldn't have been an issue. Obviously in his opinion, but in my opinion, I think I'm fair to say is, in my opinion as well, if he performed week in, week out, I wouldn't have had an issue with him being on 350k a week.
But for me, as much as I agree with everything that Manny's saying, you still got to register him for the squad. You still got at least throw him. You still got at least throw him on for 5 minutes because we devalued him so much. It's like he just became untouchable for everyone. If we kept things behind closed doors, yeah, he might have been shit, yeah, but we don't make it so public, right? We register him for the squad, right? We play him, yeah, he plays shit, but other clubs will still be like Fenerbahce, yeah, would still be like, well, we remember him when he was good. Yeah. So when it came time for a transfer window to open, yeah, it would have been easier to move him on, right? Had this not been made so public by the club. On that money. Yeah, but he's getting that money anyway. He's getting it anyway. We gotta think of it like a business. Do you know what I mean? Not think about, oh well, he's a prick, so therefore we're not even gonna have the opportunity to like kick a ball. It's like, no, we got to think about our investment.
Mesut Ozil devalued himself long before we decided to sit him on the bench. Just but at his output.
His output. But
look at the
return in investment. You know what I mean? So the devaluing of Mesut Ozil started the minute he signed on that dotted line because he gave up. Just look at his output before and his output afterwards. There was nobody who was going to spend money and those wages for a player who is giving you 4 assists in 2 seasons worth of football. That's where the devaluing starts.
You're not gonna get what you paid for him, yeah, but you at least might get £1, yeah, from a player that's actually playing. If we look at players, let's look at big players, yeah, that have not lived up to their billing or their ability. Yeah, people talk about like Paul Pogba, for instance. Right, Paul Pogba is not leaving Man United for free, or we're struggling Man United are going to struggle to terminate his contract so that he can go to Turkey, yeah, for nothing, or he's going to turn around and say we owe him money. That's not going to happen because Paul Pogba still plays, even though people know that he don't play as well as he could do because his heart's not in it at Man United, yeah. But they still play him even if they don't start him, because they know that he's still an asset. They know he's got a reputation. They know he's a World Cup winner. So, for me, everything you're saying about Ozil is right. But in terms of like Arsenal operating as a business and how they handle their assets, right? I don't agree with them actually just making it so public and so bait that we don't want him at this club. And please, can someone please come and take him off our hands and not compensate us in any way?
We're not just talking about, the club making it public. Ozil made it public. His interview with The Athletic, his agent just spouting nonsense. It goes both ways here.
Yeah, but players talk about
devaluing. You can't even compare Ozil to Pogba because Pogba actually has value. There are clubs who will spend money on Pogba.
What Pogba has value because Pogba has opportunity.
There aren't clubs in world football. There aren't clubs in world football who's going to spend money on Mesut Ozil, and this is after he signed that contract. Right? It is harder to find value for a player who has no value. Period. His football shows he has no value.
Nah, your memory is short. Yeah, let's look at
his contract.
That's after the contract. Yeah, but
I'm talking about the contract.
But Manny though, like, listen, when you talk about no value, fact is, yeah, Ozil is renowned. Everyone knows him, worldwide, international footballer. People know him. They know him as a World Cup. For us, yes, but for non-Arsenal fans, yeah, they might remember him in the World Cup. They might remember him for Real Madrid. Yeah, they might remember before the contract when he contributed to 120 goals for Arsenal. Yeah, they might remember that, and just people remembering that type of era is enough sometimes to get you a bit of a transfer fee and make it easier for them to move a player on. But if you don't register him for the squad, so that he can't kick a ball, yeah, you're just making it known that you just want to give him away, and so therefore clubs are not going to be.
If that was the case, people will be knocking on our door for Mesut Ozil.
No,
That has
because
not
we made
been
it
the case. That
we
has
made
not
it
been the
clear he's a
case.
problem. We've made it
We
too
sat
obvious he's a
him
problem.
down. We sat him down in March. Yeah, he signed that contract in January 2018. So you've had 2 years to show other clubs you've got a bit of value. What value has he shown? Mesut Ozil was happy to sit on the bench, knowing that he wasn't going to be registered, knowing that he wasn't going to play for Arsenal Football Club. Remember that. So he can cash in on the loyalty bonus and get more money. So yes, the club did terrible business, but they had a player who was happy to sit on that contract because it is the most unbelievable contract you've ever heard of. So when we talk about the club devaluing him, the fact that he didn't want to leave in the summer, knowing that he had offers, tells you everything you need to know about Mesut Ozil, period. So us devaluing him by not playing him, he was happy to do that long before we sat him down. Long before we sat him down. Right. So I'm just going to leave it at that because I got to go, boys. But yeah, tune in on Wednesday, man. It is going to be a good one.
Right. Just for everyone, I did mention earlier. Yeah, just before you go, man, I did mention earlier. Oh, he's gone. Well, anyway, I'll mention it now. He's just gone. He is going to be on Wednesday with a Ozil. I don't know who it is. Max, if you're in the chat still, please put the name of the guy up he's going against. It's going to be Manny, this other person. Max is the referee, and they're going to talk about Ozil and pretty much what you did with him there, Corey. To be fair, but I think it's going to be a bit more a bit higher level. I'm not entirely sure. But just to finish up on Ozil, I'll just get with what. Have you got anything else to say, Tanner? No,
I the thing, like I said, that Cory makes good points, Manny makes good points, and the funny thing to me, you're both right, but you're both right. That's the thing with it because they're good points. Ozil did things to himself. The club did things to him. It's not just one versus the other. It's just not that cut and dry. There were mistakes made on both ends of this entire debacle, if for lack of a better term. So I actually think that's a pretty good term. I think it was a debacle.
Pretty much, yeah. I can't say anything more without being horrible, to be honest, about it. To be honest, yeah, that's nicest way. That's the nicest way you could put it. But to finish up on Ozil, he is going to be signing by the looks of it this weekend, whether it be tomorrow or Sunday, I do not know. But it's reported, I've noticed on Sky Sports in the UK, it has been reported that he is signed on a 60 grand a week wages and is receiving a signing on fee of 4.5 million. So he's not doing bad for himself, let's face it.
No, you know what I think happened with this is because we didn't give him the full you want to plug that, Manny? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just quick. Max says it's a guy called Ben. So if you do tune in on Wednesday, it's Manny v Ben. Max is the referee. I think it'll get quite tasty. If I'm being honest, I think it'll get quite tasty. So yeah, definitely tune in for that one. I'm going to be tuning in for it. It's going to be well worth it. Go ahead, Tanner. Go for it.
All I was going to say was I think when we bought out Ozil's contract, basically what happened was he went to Fenerbahce. Somebody went to Fenerbahce and said, okay, what can you realistically afford to pay him? They come back with 60 grand a week. And basically he takes that number, comes back to Arsenal and says, okay, they can give me X amount of dollars per week. You're going to make up the difference because I just think he's still making close to that 350 grand a week.
Well,
but it's just he got most of it up front from Arsenal. And then
we don't know how it happened. We don't know if it's been,
pure speculation on my
straight off. Yeah, we don't know if it's been paid off straight off. We don't know if he's going to be getting X amount per week from us for the next God knows how many years. But apparently his wages are going to be boosted by sponsors as well. So probably 60 grand plus
endorsement, whatever various endorsement,
whatever goes on. Probably close to about 260.
That's the most athletes in today's. In today's sporting world, and it doesn't really matter what sport it is, that most of their money comes from endorsements. These guys are just the money they make from endorsements is just silly. So
yeah, definitely. But I just want to go on to a couple more of the ins. Now we'll get rid of the Ozil, but a couple more of the ins possibly coming in. We are in advanced negotiations of Odegaard. You did mention it earlier, Corey. I don't know if I said his name right. Odegaard.
Odegaard, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's Norwegian, so I ain't got a clue. It could be Buddy Smith for all I know. No, it could be that, but it's what do you think of that signing coming in? Do you think it helps us out a little bit or not? Cory, I'll come to you first, mate.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, love it, man. Look, if you're gonna get a loan, like this is the loan that you get. You know, it's a player that you probably couldn't afford, really and truly, or it'll be hard to, you know, sort of make that a longer term. So he's 22. He's not obviously not even near his peak yet. He's doing up numbers in clubs that, you know, all the clubs that he's played for. He's quality. He's been quality from a young age. That's why Real Madrid bought him from ages ago.
He had a really high reputation for being a good player.
Yeah, and
I know a lot of other clubs are trying to get him at the time.
Yeah, and in terms of, like, you know, if you want a player that can unlock defenses, that's got good vision, passing, technique, dribbling, can play across, you know, the sort of the not in a 4-2-3-1 in that three behind the striker. This is your guy, and
he can play across that three line. If you play in the 4-2-3-1, he can play the whole three.
Yeah. So predominantly, he is pretty much a young Ozil type player in that.
He's not going to only play one position.
Yeah, but he's in terms of that, he's just a straight up attacking midfielder with an eye for a pass, and an eye for goal as well. And his main attributes are his passing and technique. It's what we've been talking about for ages. When we were struggling to score, we were like, oh, we need this type of player. We need this type of player. We talked about all these other players, Isco, Buendia, and whatnot. But he is arguably better now than both of those. You know, he done really well at Real Sociedad. He done really well when he's in the Dutch league as well. He's a talent, and you know, when with someone like Ceballos, when we get him on loan from Real Madrid, you know, you get the feeling like if we really wanted to buy him, Real Madrid would say, all right, have him, because you know his level. But
yeah,
even though this boy has been on loan for, you know, forever with Real Madrid, you still get the impression that they don't want to sell him because they do see him as like a long-term investment, and he has got the potential to be world class. So for what we need, this is exactly. Like, it's like somebody, we told, you know, a computer what we need, and then they made Odegaard and printed them out for us.
That's fair enough. Well, quick stats from you. Last season, he played on loan at Sociedad. He played 31 matches. He scored 4 goals and got 6 assists. This season so far, I think he's back at Real Madrid. So this season so far, he's only played 7 matches. He hasn't got any goals or any assists, but he's only played 7 matches. And Real Madrid hadn't really been pulling up trees this season so far, have they?
Nah, he's only played like 5 minutes in the past like 2 months or something like that. So it's not, those stats don't really sort of reflect what's going on.
No, so well, that's why I go with the Sociedad ones. So yeah, he's played 31 matches, 4 goals, 6 assists. It's not bad for a youngster in the Spanish league, so it's not too bad. It's not great.
You can't look at. If you look at someone like, but look, if you look at someone like Smith Rowe, his stats are looking good, right? But we all, because we watch him, we see what he brings to the side. We see the energy and enthusiasm and the directness that he brings, and he lifts all the other players, you know. And stats can't really, you know, reflect that, as opposed to just direct goals and assists.
Well, this is it, innit? Yeah, I'm not really massive on stats, but in the interest of fairness, I did want to put that out there.
But when you look at the amount of goals that Real Sociedad has scored, when he plays, you'll see that he can very much be the assister type player. You know, like he's just, his overall play kind of just makes the whole team play better, and just makes the whole team a bit more creative, as opposed to him making the direct pass to the goal scorer or scoring the goal himself.
The Ozil stats, the assister of the assister.
Yeah.
That only came about because of Ozil, to be fair, the assister of the assister.
Or like a Santi Cazorla. If you look at Santi Cazorla, he didn't get a lot of assists. But
no, but he made things happen, which I get.
Yeah, exactly.
Tanner, have you got anything to say about it?
We here in America, us hockey fans, we call that the secondary assist. So in ice hockey over here, you actually get in terms of personal stats, you'll get a point for a secondary assist. It'll be listed as an assist. So there on any goal scored in ice hockey, there are two. If when applicable, there will always be 2 assists with a goal scored. So it is something that actually because of my hockey background, the assister, I do actually pay attention to that. It is.
Also, it's an American thing then, right?
Yeah, it could be. Well, North American. I want to make sure I keep my Canadian brethren involved here. But no, as far as Odegaard is concerned, and Ryan, when you watch this on playback, because I think you're at work, piss off, buddy, because this is going to be a good deal. He's not thrilled about it for whatever reason. He hasn't told us yet. Why yet?
Why?
I don't know. He hasn't told us yet. Yeah, we're messaging in the group in the private group on Twitter, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not really."
Who do you want?
I don't know. Yeah, I think I said.
Who do you want in January that will make you happy? Like
right.
Ryan.
Well, I think what Ryan's on about here is, and I think DWTT made a good comment here, and many are complaining that Odegaard may push ESR to the bench, but wanted Emmy to stay to push Leonard to the bench. Quality players will push teammates to be better or sit.
That's basically exactly what I was gonna. That was gonna be the point I was gonna make. Go ahead, Corey.
Smith Rowe ain't seen the bench for at least like 3 weeks. Yeah, if we were to if we were to like sign Odegaard tomorrow, it don't matter. Yeah, right. He needs to acclimatize. He needs to sort of settle and whatnot. Smith Rowe has not seen the bench for now. So
I saw somewhere that Odegaard, if he comes in, would need like a 10-day, like a 10-day. I don't want to say quarantine period because you guys they're not doing that for it. Incoming players are getting a special an elite sports exemption or whatever they call it.
No, I don't think they are. I think they are getting a quarantine.
So he is going to have to quarantine then. So that's at least 10 days to 2 weeks right there. By the time Odegaard actually settles in, gets up to speed with his teammates, understands what Arteta is trying to do, it's going to be Valentine's Day for crying out loud before he gets the sniff. And like Corey just said, that's 3 weeks. So
if he does come in and Smith Rowe ends up on the bench, fuck me. Like Odegaard must have been really good to pull that off. Do you know what I mean? So then if we got a player coming that's playing better than what Smith Rowe is playing now, oh well. Do you know what I mean? That's for the good of Arsenal. Like we're now seeing a quality player.
And Gary's point is fantastic because here's why I like the Odegaard. If this happens, I'm going to be absolutely over the moon about it. I'll be over the moon, and then come the summer, I'm going to be like, well, fuck, man, like go get him because if he does well. Odegaard, he and Smith Rowe are a bit different. I actually think they could both play together, not full time. It's not. I don't think you'd want to start them every match together. But I think they could play together. They're a little different in terms, stylistically. Smith Rowe is more getting into open space, turning and making a pass real quick, whereas Odegaard's more of a creator on his own. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of a difference. They're both very attack minded. So if they're both going to play, you're probably sticking Partey as your holding midfielder, really. And asking him to really, be more defensive almost. But Odegaard's the kind of player that I could see coming in and pushing Emile Smith Rowe, but not the player that's going to come in and be the automatic starter right away because of a fee associated with him. Like if we would have loaned Isco, I think Isco would come in and he would just right off the bat, he's going to be the starter now over Emile Smith Rowe. Whereas I think Odegaard's going to come in and I think there's going to be competition. His age profile is spot on. I think he's 24. I actually pulled him 22. Up here. 22. Even better. So is his age. Everything about this kid, for me, at least as far as I understand what Mikel Arteta wants to do, this kid checks all the boxes for me. And he's not going to automatically unseat Emile Smith Rowe, which is to me, that's the biggest thing. So that's why I love the idea of loaning this kid for half a year and let's see what he can do.
Look, at the end of the day, you got to think about it this way. He's only coming in on loan. We're not buying him this month.
Right.
He's only coming in on loan. So it's only going to be, if you're going to get a loanee of his stature and where he's going to be, he's not really there to push anybody out, but maybe push them on, to move their progression forward. That's the only thing I can think of for the likes of ESR and the likes of Saka, to help them move on, help them push forward. We might even teach them a few things. I don't know. I know he's 22 and they're all young lads, aren't they, really? Max made a comment here. I hope we don't sign him. Surely with Saka, Pepe, Orba, Martinelli and Laka and ESR all being able to rotate across the front five, we don't need to bomb loan money on a dice roll. I don't agree with that, because if you think about it, with the likes of Pepe, Orba really is only up front or left. Okay, Martinelli, he can play left or right. Saka can play left, right, and probably centre as well. ESR is more centre.
Laka's
got Willian in there as well, but you got to think with Pepe and Willian, they're not really pulling up trees at the minute. They're not really doing anything.
I totally disagree with him. They're not even the same type of players. They're not even similar players. Like I just said, he's more a number 10. He's more an Ozil. He sees passes in between the lines. None of them guys that he mentioned do that. They don't do the same job. And when things were really bad and we were trying to find solutions with those players, didn't work. So you can't say, I hope we don't sign them because of the guys that you mentioned, because they weren't up to being the sort of the creative playmaker that we needed. If he comes in and he does that role very well and there's an opportunity to sign him, of course we need to sign him, because if it's not going to be him, it's going to be somebody else, because the system that Arteta seems that he wants to play seems like it does require that type of player, because nothing clicked until Smith Rowe came into the side.
And we can't expect Smith Rowe to play every single game until
and as of right now, we're still in the FA Cup. Obviously, the league and Europa League is going to be starting back up here again in about a month. So we're going to be going.
I think it's the 18th of next month.
18th. So roughly 3 weeks. Well, 4 weeks from now, we're starting. We're getting back into 2 games a week with Europa League on Thursday nights. League matches on Sundays or Mondays, whatever. So we need depth there. And honestly, Max, love you to death. Thank you for having me on your channel, or letting Mike have me on your channel.
My channel.
Is it your channel?
This is my show.
Max, piss off.
Exactly.
Anyway, most of the guys that are listed there, with the exception of Smith Rowe, I saw somebody said he could play on the right. Odegaard. Gary said he could play on the right.
He can play across that front 3 line, so he can play left, middle, or right. So if you're playing that 4-2-3-1 formation that we seem to be doing at the minute, he can play across that full front 3 line.
Pepe's done for me. Get Pepe out of here for me. If you get 30 million for Pepe in the summer, go. Sorry, it's just that he doesn't have the IQ to play in this kind of a system. I don't think Arteta rates him very highly. So he's done, and he's not going to play through the center. So sorry, Max, love you, man. Disagree with you wholeheartedly on this. If we can get Odegaard, I'm going to be. I don't want to get too graphic here. So, and I know you guys can get graphic sometimes, but I'll keep it reeled in for right now. So.
Yeah,
that's how graphic we get.
Oh!
He had to join in, didn't he?
I'm in.
Can't even hear him. That's great.
Put me in, coach. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
We don't want to.
On the fucking Odegaard signing, just for a start, can you can't stop looking at shiny fucking new things and sitting there and saying this is fantastic? You've got assets that you paid for, assets that you have to resale, assets in Lacazette. You've got Martinelli, who can't get into the fucking team because we have an insistence on playing Aubameyang off the left at the moment. You've got Lacazette, who we have to sell, right? And you're sitting there and saying, I'm going to bring another guy in on fucking loan money. And this is the thing that fucked me up about this. It's loan money. It's like renting. It's like owning a business and not owning the fucking freehold. You're paying someone else to develop their fucking player further. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't possibly fucking improve us. And I'm not saying I have any issue with the blocking of ESR, by the way. Anyone who has anything to say about that is a muppet. If ESR is good enough, he'll park this motherfucker on the bench and he'll be the guy who Ray'll come and fucking chase. No issue with that at all. But you're going to go and you're going to rack up, let's say, worst
Oh, I'm glad he's fucking gone.
Terrible fucking business.
Sorry, you cut out there, Max, so I just had to say something.
Terrible.
No, all right. Now I can hear Max, like what he's saying. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You just don't want us to sign him on loan because it's like,
if it was a permanent deal, if it was a permanent deal, I'd be like, great. He's 22. He's 22. Fucking great. Sign him, but not on a fucking loan deal. It's dead money, and it's dead money when you got £72 million. Oh, cool. We'll just devalue pay some more, will we?
I definitely hear what you're saying. And had we not put ourselves in a position where we were so desperate for this type of player, then I would agree with you. But on this occasion, it's like we really need that sort of creative spark. Yeah, I know we're getting it from Smith Rowe, but he can't play every game. When he doesn't play, yeah, we look shit. Like we look really bad.
This makes me feel very, very apprehensive about Mikel Arteta again, because this motherfucker has found one way of playing, and I don't even believe it was deliberate. I believe it was forced through injuries, and he fell upon putting ESR into this team because people were calling for it for fucking ages. Now he's found one fucking way of playing that even when we went to Crystal Palace, it didn't fucking work because he couldn't break the lines. And we're going and saying, 10 million, 15 million on a fucking loan player before we decide to fucking buy him off Real. Real don't lose players that they don't want to keep. So if they want him, there won't be a fucking sign-on for him. Right? Yeah. Ceballos, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about Ceballos. Look at the fucking Ceballos line. We bombed £20 million into Ceballos. We're going to give the cunt back.
Well, we were talking about this, but I don't know if you've been watching the whole show, but we talked about the way that we're sort of spunking money on loans since Arteta's come in.
That's where everyone's got me wrong on this tweet where I was like, I hope we don't sign Odegaard. Everyone's like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You should fucking sign good players. And I'm like, just if he's a good player, this is what I'd rather the club do. Find the player you want. Put the bid in for the player you want. Buy the player you want. Put him on a reasonable contract on reasonable wages. So if that player doesn't make the grade, you fucking sell him.
Like I said, we have put ourselves in this position going back to the summer when we didn't get Aouar. And we all know we needed Aouar. You know, we didn't get him. We chose to get we couldn't get both him and Partey, so we went for Partey, and it's like, all right, we just have to keep our fingers crossed and hope that's enough. And it clearly wasn't. And so we've gone through the season where sort of like, oh my shit, like nobody's scoring, we're not creating chances. It's boring. We're losing matches, and then now here we are in January. It's like, right, we have to do so. We have to address it. We have to do something about it. And nobody's letting go of an asset that they want to keep in January. Doesn't matter if it's Real Madrid. It doesn't matter if it's Norwich. Yeah, if they don't want a player to go in January, unless we put in ridiculous bids, we're not getting it. So that's why I'm not so. Although we shouldn't have put ourselves in this position in the first place, now that we're in this position, I'm not totally against this loan. Because of the where we put ourselves, and. If is it going to help us this season? Yeah. Could it actually make us so that we can actually win the FA Cup again, or get far in the Europa League, or push ourselves up the table? Yeah. So in that case, I have to say, let's do it.
We don't even know what the structure. Okay, so let's just say it's a 6-month loan, right? Let's say it's a 6-month loan and it's £5 million, right? It's fairly standard, isn't it? Fairly standard, between £5 million loan fee.
Something like that, yeah.
I refuse to believe, having watched as many loan players come in from Spain in the Premier League as we have over the years, and the historical input of loan players who have no time in the Premiership, limited time even in, like you said, he's gone out on loans, he's played in Real Sociedad and stuff like that. Before I get excited and I jump on the fucking Arsenal bandwagon, which seems to be like, show me a 45, even Aouar, 95% of people I know have never seen this fucker play. But because we got told he was the be-all and end-all, he's everything. So until I see the structure of the deal, and this is my point about Arsenal fans stopping wanting to have their cake and eat it too. Stop complaining about deals and then say, but I want to go bin £5 million, £6 million in a post-COVID market on a loan player who we're going to give back. right? It makes no sense to me. It's time to start making financial fucking decisions. And if that means that you finish 8th this year, right? Or you finish 9th, shit, whatever it is, and Arteta has to use his fucking squad and get these guys moving. If he's got to stick Saka at 10, I've got no doubt that Saka can go in and play at 10. Right? If he's got to put Saka in 10, which means he gets Martinelli out on the fucking left, which means there's some game time for Pepe in there. Pepe is the one I'm barking about at the moment. He's 72 million pounds. 72 million pounds of fucking asset. Get in there and get him fucking playing. We saw in the FA Cup final last year. He was man of the match in the FA Cup final. You don't just turn into a fucking garbage player overnight. And if it's cool to fucking, like you were saying, Corey, well, how can you fucking rot Ozil? How can you deregister him? Well, in Pepe by bringing this guy in, because you bring another player into a network where you already have Willian fucking burning you. You've got Martinelli struggling to get into the team. You've got Ober in there on big wages. You've got Lacazette in there who we're trying to get rid of. You've got fucking Pepe rotting and not fucking playing. You've got ESR. You've got fucking Willock, who's not fucking playing and not going on loan. So if this happened, do you know the way I'd be happy about it, Corey? If this happened, I'd want to see fucking 2 of those guys go out on loan. 2 to 3 of them go out on loan for 6 months themselves. So I will not get excited about the deal until I see the structure of the deal, and the structure of the deal is in Arsenal's favour, not a way that Real can go and make another £5 million on what they probably fucking overpaid for when he was 15, so that we can carry him for 6 fucking months, 12 months and say, all right, either you do so well, Real come back and say, fuck you, you're not having him, or we say, okay, jog on like Ceballos. Another fucking £25 million down the toilet. That's halfway to fucking Kurt Basuma, who's the real fucking answer to Arsenal's problems, because the fucking issue isn't the 10, it's still the fucking 8.
You finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Right. I get you. I understand. I get you. I don't think anyone here is saying that Odegaard is going to be the full answer. No one's saying that. I think what I'm trying to get across is it's going to be coming in and it's going to be good for cover for someone like ESR. Yes, Saka can play as a 10. Yes, Lacazette can play as a 10. But he's doing all right where he is at a 9. Leave him. Let him get on with playing it as a number 9. Let him play up front. He's the only one scoring goals, really, at the minute until last weekend, when Aubameyang slotted 2 home. But, we've got Martinelli. He's still a young kid. He's still coming in. He's pushing Aubameyang out. He's going to do at some point. Aubameyang's going to be the forgotten man again soon. If Martinelli keeps going the way he's going and pushing forward, no one's going to remember Aubameyang's name until he's gone. Similar to what Ozil is. Who gives a shit? Yes, again, Pepe, £72 million. We get that. Arsenal got bent over on that from the last regime and fucking agents. We got bent over. Pepe is not a £72 million player. I think we've said it before on this show and on other Arse Brothers shows. He's a £40 million player at best.
If you rod him on the bench, you're not going to get 25 for him.
Well, you're not going to get 25 for him in this market anyway.
I'll disagree. I'll disagree with that statement, because I think there's somebody in France that'll come back and say, I gave you 30 million for him regardless. Because that's the thing. You can be an absolute stiff in the Premiership, but you could go to France, you could go to Italy, you could go to Germany, and you could be an absolute rock star. And I think I think there's a club. I think he goes back to France. I really do. I think he'll go back to France, and I think he'll become that 40 to 45. He was never worth 72 million pounds. Like you said, Mike, he's never worth that.
No doubt, Tanner. Never worth the money. Never, ever worth the money. But you still, there's an element, like I said, where I look at the dealings, I look at what we're doing, and what I want is I want the coach to be able to do something more than this shit that he's fallen on with ESR. Because I said this on the Arse Bros OG after one of the games. I was like, I don't believe that this is some masterstroke of coaching. This same coach had us absolutely floundering, playing fucking Willian every week, playing Willian out of false nines.
He tripped over his own dick and smelling like roses.
Yeah,
that's
and
what he did.
He was that worked. Fantastic. I want him to. I want to be able to. And do you know the other reason as well, guys? I want to get to the end of the season and work out whether or not I want to keep Arteta. That's what I want to get to. I want to get to the end of the season and say, cool, you came 10th right? With essentially a stacked squad that had holes in it, right? But 10th, 12th with a stacked squad that had holes in it. You've got enough centre backs. Yes, you're very lean throughout midfield, but we went through the players he has across that front five. If you're building a fucking FIFA team or a Pro Ev team right now, all those players are 80 plus players, between 80 and 92 players. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, if this is your one fucking system, if this is your one thing, I've got serious doubts about you as a coach still. And I was never Arteta out. I'll just say this frankly. I was never Arteta out. Oh, how amazing is it, Arteta? Arteta has single-handedly pulled us out of this fire. Fucking Saka, Martinelli, and ESR pulled him out of that fire, and he almost had to fucking pick them at one point.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, Arteta worries me, and he's worried me for a while now. Like you said, when it was all shit, he didn't have the answers, and us the fans were screaming, "Play ESR," play some of the younger players. Like, when we see them in the Europa League, it's a whole different energy. It's a whole different team, So let's try and merge the two together and see if we can, some of that can rub off in the Premier League. And we're screaming it for ages, and he didn't do it. He persisted with Willian, persisted with the same system, and it wasn't working. And then, like you said, it's like finally something happens, COVID and whatnot. Smith Rowe gets a chance, right? And then, wow, that what we've all been saying actually came to fruition, by accident. And I'm not giving him any of the credit. He have serious concerns about him, like we've been talking about in terms of the squad and players not being registered, and like the Salibas and whatnot, players being put out on loan to Torreira's and Gandozzi's, players that are young and have value. And yet all we can do is put them out on loan, and we're still at a loss as to why. It's all just been he's not been in charge for that long, and so much shit has happened at the club that I've never seen before at any other football club. Players not being registered and shipped out on loan because they grab someone by their throat. Any other club, a player grabs someone by their throat, they get a 3-match ban, and then they're back. But with us, it's like, we don't see the player again. And it's just a highly touted, highly promising player, It's just like relationships are breaking down.
I have doubts about us from executive level the whole way down to assistant coaching staff. Like that, I can find problems with that entire expanse the whole way up through contracts.
So can I, but I've got particular concerns with Arteta because we haven't even seen that he's that he's really special in terms of like setting up teams or his style of play or anything.
Do you know what he feels like to me, Corey? He feels like to me. Do you remember when Steve McLaren took over the England national team, and they went and got the person to look the right way, talk the right way, walk the right line, do the right thing in the press conferences? But he was never a phenomenal manager, even though he'd been a great coach. He was never a phenomenal manager. For me, there's a little bit of that with Arteta now. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at now over the course of half of the season, and I'm like, it took 2 19-year-olds and a 20-year-old to bail you out. You couldn't get these apex players moving. That shouldn't be the fucking case. That shouldn't be the case. Oba shouldn't have been out of form for that long. Laka shouldn't have been out of form for that long. I was having this argument with Manny about Willian, because Manny's like, I fucking hate Willian. And I'm like, the Willian we got is not the Willian from Chelsea last year. You can't say we bought a dud, because that guy was in like the top 3 or top 5 or number 1.
He could have been their player of the year last year.
Yeah, half of their like ball recoveries, like take-ons, box, like all of my like, and I'll just bring it back to where I took over the podcast, Mike. Sorry, bring it back to the Odegaard thing, right? It just seems like another instance where I see a manager or the club trying to get something to happen, where I feel like the manager should be making happen what he already has there. There's enough there. Go fucking coach them. And if you can't coach them, fuck off. Someone else can come in and coach them.
Let me jump in here real quick, because I've said this before. I think what happened this year was so we bring in Willian and we re-signed David Luiz. And I think part of that is because Arteta doesn't trust himself as a coach yet. Arteta's strong suit is coaching young players, developing young players. And that's what he should have been doing from the get. But instead, he didn't trust himself. So what did he do? He started leaning on the likes of David Luiz and Willian and Granit Xhaka and guys that, for the most part, I don't think any of us really want here at the club. And now all of a sudden you're seeing the young players come through. And it's not necessarily down to Arteta, but they've bought into his system and they're performing in it.
But why not? Why not sentiment? Why not sentiment? I agree with you. He's been complete and total dross. My argument is you as a club, you looked at him, you decided you wanted him, you gave him the contract, and you couldn't get him fucking playing, and he's still not playing. And 6 million. I like that. Sure, there's an element on the player, but you don't just overnight fall off a cliff's edge and be like, I'm. Willian isn't even just not playing well. Willian is out and out bad, like bad at football. You don't all of a sudden become fucking bad at football.
Yeah, I agree with Max. It's like if we look at players' form and players that have been with us for a little while, there's a lot of them are showing their worst form. And not even with us, but like Willian as well, showing their worst form we've ever seen. Ever. We've seen Aubameyang. We've never seen Aubameyang this bad. We've never seen Willian this bad. Never seen Lacazette this bad. And what if you've got like a great coach, that's not something you typically tend to say. You don't get great managers or really promising managers go to a club and then say, oh, actually these players are the worst we've ever seen them. The two things don't typically coexist. So then we have to ask ourselves, who do we have in charge of our team right now? Like, how good is he?
Mike?
Oh, you all done?
Yeah, well done. Sorry.
No, I'm joking. I'm just there listening. I'm happy. Go for it. You crack
but
on.
what do you think on those? What do you think on those two concepts? So, on the concept of the loan market is dead money, we should be at least getting people who we want, who have we highlighted, who we can buy, and that we have a huge amount of money and a huge amount of talent in this squad, and that the manager can't seem to get them moving forward, and it's more 19-year-olds.
Well, yeah, I agree with that in some respect to the loan thing, but I think the problem is with the with everything that's going on with the world taking a massive dump on itself, with everything that's going on with COVID and everything else. I think it's sort of the way forward now. I don't think teams are going to just sell people, and there's no money anywhere because no one's in stadiums. So loaning is going to be more of the way forward for the foreseeable future, up until this all decides to go back into some sort of normal reality, what we used to or what we used to see, because no one's got that kind of money. No one's going to no one's got 72 million to fork out for anyone anymore. Let's face it, that's gone until people start going back into stadiums, money starts coming, transferring in, and everything else. So yeah, I think loan deals are going to be the way forward, and that's what we're going to see, especially in the January transfer market as well. With there only being a few weeks between, you don't get it's half the length of time than what we see in the summer. So it makes more sense to loan someone in January, because it's quicker to loan someone than it is to go through all the shit that goes with everything, to go sign this paper, agree this, agree that. Look how long it's taken Ozil to sign for Fenerbahce. That must have been started off early doors. It must have been. And then we started hearing about it now, and then it's gone on. I think he had to do isolation for so many days. This is why it's taking so long for him to sign at Fenerbahce. This is going to be either tomorrow or Sunday when he signs, and that's because he's only come out of isolation tonight or today.
They're going to announce it tomorrow at like 30 minutes into the FA Cup match.
Yeah, probably. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Mesut Ozil will announce it himself on Twitter in like the most inopportune time for the fucking club. Like the club will go 1-0 down, and Mesut Ozil will be like off to Fenerbahce, and then that piece of shit fucking Mustafi, who can equally go and get fucked now with his fucking poisonous fucking tweet, he'll fucking jump on the back of that, calling himself, what do you call himself? SM20, he called himself the tweet. Motherfucker, you don't deserve a name, let alone a nickname, you fucking
But you know what? See with Mustafi, I ain't mad at Mustafi. Like he could have been gone. Arteta asked him to stay. He requested that he stayed. He could have been gone. Again, you've got to look at sometimes. If a player's shit, he's shit. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes you've got to look at why are they still here.
I'm not upset about Mustafi staying. I'm upset about
this is what Mustafi said.
Tweeting.
For anyone who didn't see it, this is what Mustafi said about Ozil leaving. Bro, you have been the most unselfish player on and off the pitch. I think that's what people have an issue with.
Look, let's get one thing straight, yeah. None of us know Mesut Ozil. We don't know him. We've never had a conversation with him. We don't know what his relationship is like with other players in the squad. Yeah, we don't know what he's done for them. We don't know nothing. Let's stop pretending, that we've somehow we've got to know him and his situation through the media and through all the little tweets and stuff that we see. We don't know shit. Yeah, I don't know what goes on in your house. You don't know what goes on mine.
I got myself into his overhead bin compartment on that private jet flying to fucking Turkey. All right, so I was there.
Hold on 1 second, Mike. Just because you don't like him, like as fans, cool. You don't like him, but you don't know him personally. These guys know him personally. There are people in the world that care and love about Mesut Ozil, that actually know him. So let's not get worried about tweets. Who gives a fuck? About who gives a fuck about Mesut Ozil's relationship with Mustafi?
Stop. Everyone stop. The problem is, right, this has come down to what Tanner was mentioning earlier on. This is the Arsenal fan base. You're either 50% one way or for 50% the other. Yeah, and there's no in between. You're either hate or love.
But it's just I hate
Wenger. It was Wenger in, Wenger out.
Yeah,
Corey, I just don't like the fact that players are taking to, and I think it's part of fucking society and part of the way that people converse with each other now. They're underhanded, but players taking to Twitter, right, that basically they know and they are media trained and they know that people are going to read those and essentially be sitting there saying, so you just wrote in a tweet that the club treated him wrong, that the club mistreated him. You just wrote that in a tweet while you're still signed by the club. I don't give a flying fuck if you're halfway out the fucking door. This club has paid £35 million for you. You fucked up repeatedly for the club. You have no reason to be pissed off with the club, Mustafi. You even got given another fucking lease of life at the club. You've made great wages while you've been here. You made a great fucking lifestyle while you've been here in London. I do not like the underhanded things. And whenever there are underhanded tweets, guess who's connected to them? It's always fucking M10 Mesut Ozil. And you look at the way that we haven't performed and you look at the issues that we've had off the pitch, the idea that there's division, the idea that there's clicks. This is why I get emotionally triggered by that shit, because that is essentially just fucking proving what I've said. Right? That there are these issues and there are these personalities and there are these people who think they're bigger than the club. You know what? Socrates, I never had a major issue with Socrates. I never even had that much of a major issue with Socrates as a player. And you know what Socrates wrote? Thank you very much. Love my time at Arsenal. Goodbye. And everyone went, fantastic. Do you know why? Because that's a fucking professional. But it's not just a professional. It's a mature adult human who understands that he has a job. Not someone who's going to sit there and fucking put up stupid shit and stupid fucking tweets all the time to underhandedly drive derision within the club. I don't give a fuck who these guys are as people, Corey. They're not people to me. They're fucking players to me, bro. And they are paid and they are contracted and they get played by the club. That's all So
don't worry. So you shouldn't worry about their tweets then. If you care about what they do on the pitch,
I worry about what they do on the pitch. I worry about their tweets when it's deliberately underhanded to drive division within the football club. And it's the same fucking thing that's happening in society every fucking day. It's the same bullshit.
He's driving division within the club for a player that's outgoing. So it's like he's gone. So he's not talking about anybody that's still at the club or whatnot. But look, if Mesut's going, he's going. That's it. And Mustafi's still here.
Why the fuck can't Mustafi just say, look, Matt, hey, bro, loved playing with you. You're a great player. Why do you have to write this cryptic message that clearly, when you dig into the bones
because he obviously has his own personal feelings about how the club handled him. Yeah. If me and you joined Brisbane FC, and cool. And then we joined Brisbane FC, and then you felt like they really fucked me over and they mistreated. That's how you personally felt, whether you was right or wrong. Yeah. And then you being an outspoken person that you are, yeah, chose that you felt like you wanted to publicly express it. Yeah. Then that's what you would do. You're your own person. You're free to do that.
Every contract I've ever signed as a professional in my career has had a social media embargo in there. Everything I've ever signed. In any fucking job in any world, you are not allowed, while you are under contract with that company, to go online and write divisive things that relate to that company. Why should it be any different with football? These guys should just be.
I will second that, because I work for a company. I had to sign up when I signed a contract. I wasn't allowed to badmouth this company over social media. I can badmouth them now. It's DHL. They can go fuck themselves. So anyway, yeah, that's a company that I worked for at the time. But I had to sign a waiver to say that I wouldn't badmouth them over social media. You know, so it is there. It is that. I get what you're saying, Corey. You know, you're your own person. You should be free to express yourself. You should be free to express your own opinions. But once you sort of, in some respects, he did and he didn't badmouth the club. You know, I didn't get to finish the whole thing, but there was a thing on there. I won't finish the whole tweet, but there was a statement on there. Unfortunately, we as a team haven't been able to assist you when you needed us the most. All the best. I can't agree with that. You know, I can't agree that the fact that the team hasn't been able to assist him. They must have done everything that as the football team itself, as Arsenal themselves, they must have done everything to try and push him forward, to try and get him back onto the pitch, to try and, do something for him, to do everything for him. But like we said earlier on about Ozil, as Manny put it and everything else, Ozil did it for Ozil. He didn't do it for the club.
I believe that. But I also believe there are two sides to every story. Well, there's three. There's his side, and there's the truth. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. I do agree.
And even I can't fully agree. I'm not absolving him of anything. Yeah. I feel like I can see the type of person that he is. Yeah. But when you talk about have the club done everything that they could to, assist him and make him as comfortable and get the best out of him, I don't know. Because when I look at the situation with Guendouzi, when I look at the situation with Torreira, when I look at the situation with Sokratis, when I look at the situation with Saliba, yeah, do I believe that Arsenal done everything that they could in order to make these players get the best out of these players and assist them? No, I don't. I feel like they were quick to turn their back on these players when they started
This is what we're talking about with Arteta. Is it the club turning the back on him, or is it Arteta turning?
Even what Max is talking about with Pepe. With Pepe, have we done everything that we could to get the best out of Pepe, or have we just thrown him on the bench? Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, I don't see the club really going out of their way, to get the best out of the talent that we've acquired. I don't see that. So when it comes to the Ozil situation, like I said, I'm not absorbing him with anything. I do think he's a cunt, but do I think that Arsenal are like holier than thou and Arsenal have done everything they could possibly do for Ozil? No, I don't, because I don't see them doing it for all the other players.
My final word on it, Corey, is for me, it's almost like these players, these multimillionaires, these guys who are like don't make like short change of it. These guys get paid ridiculous money, even at like low. Even when you're seeing guys sign a contract for £70,000 a week, this is money that the average person, the average business executive, the average CEO, right, of massive company, they never see this sort of money come in. I think it's interesting that people, the trend is when you're talking about this, people like, oh well, they're people too. You've got to let them be people. I don't see why they should exist in a world where they are hired and contracted by a company and they're not accountable to that company for their actions, for what they say on social media. I refuse. In that light, I'm happy to sit there and say, okay, person, and there's a person behind that. But if I'm treating you like a person, I got to treat you like every single Joe Blow in the street who has to be accountable for the things that they say, the way they act, the way they show work, the manner they show up to work in, the state they show up to work in, the output, the efficiency, what they do to earn that contract. These are the things that make me feel like it's when people are like, oh, you're being so inhuman by attacking him, or you're being so inhuman by doing this. I'm like, no. They're living in a world of elite hierarchy that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, and they should be as accountable as anyone else.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, 100%.
And I agree with that. I said in the previous show, like some of these footballers, I'm saying, look, don't be a pussy. Yeah. Stop being pussies. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like you got boo-hoo about every little thing. Oh no, I've not got any confidence. I'm out of form. Oh no, like look, you are getting paid a fuckload of money. Yeah, you can literally pay for a psychologist to follow your ass around every day. Yeah, and make you feel better and get your mind right and get your mind in the game to actually perform better. Yeah, because you don't have any limitations.
Is it Coming to America? She's like, the royal penis is clean.
Yeah.
You could actually have someone to pay to do that. You know, you pay them a lot of money just to do that, to blow smoke up your ass, to wash your cock, you know, to scrub your ball bag, wipe your ass. You could actually pay a group of people just to fucking stand behind you every time you take a shit to cheer. There's people out there to do that. You can't have no confidence when you can get people to do that.
Mesut Ozil's got like 10 people who run his social media team, from people who do his graphics, people who do all of his stuff for him. You know, it's like it's insanity. I always come back to it and I'm always like, I'm never going to fucking cry for a guy he's got more social media followers than the population of the country I live in. Right, and apparently earns equal to or more per week than what Arsenal are getting to him from his other commercial endeavors and his sponsorship money through his followings on Twitter. Boo-hoo, Mesut Ozil. Fuck off. Sorry the club couldn't look after you. Go fuck yourself. If the club wasn't looking after you and you actually wanted to play football, you could have found a way out of there. And for people who say he never could have gone on those wages, we paid the fucking wages anyway. So he just as easily could have gone and signed for a club on 100K, and we could have played 4 years at 250K or 200K. We'd have paid the fucking money anyway. Now, if you're telling me with all those executives and all of those brains and all of those people, they couldn't find a way to get Mesut his fucking money, if that's what it meant for him, his money, we would have paid the fucking money anyway. I've said a long time. I think he just got to a point where he was like, I don't really care about playing football that much. I'm contracted as long as I'm earning money, sitting on my ass, playing fucking Fortnite, doing what I want to do. I'm going to be here. And I really think towards the end, it became about destabilizing the club more than it became about anything else. It became about M10 versus Arsenal and whose brand was bigger. And I'll tell you, from looking from the outside in, M10's brand is bigger.
Could have a point there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have anything to add.
Fair enough.
No, I mean they're all good points, and Max and I agree on a lot of things un-Arsenal related, just about society and the state of the world and things like that. And you're absolutely right. Take your 350,000 pounds a week and shove it up your ass, because I won't see that. I'll never see that in a year. I won't see it in 2 years, and you're getting it a fucking week. These players, like Max, if you're on 70,000 pounds a week,
which is considered to be a low contract in the Premiership.
You could go buy, put it in perspective, you could go buy a nice new car every single week. Every week, you could drive a different new car.
Bugatti every week. Rolls Royce every week.
I'm sorry,
I have change.
But I'm sorry the club couldn't look after you in your hard time. I'm sorry we couldn't look after you. Well, the club was fucking paying you.
You know what? I'm going to say this, and I think it's a bit appropriate. So humor me on this. You guys all know who Ricky Gervais is, I assume.
Yeah, of course.
The comedian. So he hosts an award show over here called the Golden Globe Awards. All right, it's like an international whatever, celebrity, whatever. His last time, and if you haven't seen it, look it up, because his opening.
No, we know what the Golden Globes are. We don't live under
America. There is a world.
I'm sure I know what the fucking Golden Globes are.
We know what Golden Globes are. Look, one of our own hosts. Of course we know.
Anyway.
No, mate. What I'm doing is I'm watching you and I'm coming through you from this line. You know, I don't know what it fucking does, but I can see. You know, we have fucking TVs.
In Australia, you put the kangaroo takes the internet to the corner, and then it comes back.
Yes, we do have flushing toilets here, mate.
I know that. You know what? You don't have dryers. You don't have a fucking dryer.
Yeah, I do.
I come over there and I'm like, I gotta wash clothes. So I wash my clothes and I'm like, all right, where's the dryer? Well, they're already in the dryer.
It's called a washing line.
Yeah, I'm like,
got a washing line in the garden.
Well, thankfully,
you've got to wash your dryers that do both. It's amazing. That's knowledge how it moves on, mate.
That's what I have. But every time I pull my clothes out, they're always still soaking wet.
Yeah, they're not great.
We have separate
a washer.
So you have a washing machine, and then you have a dryer. You have two separate machines.
To be fair, most kitchens can't facilitate both in the UK.
Yeah. Oh, no. So you know what I found?
Yeah, we have smaller houses than you.
Yeah, and in the flat where I usually stay when I come over, there's a towel warmer in the bathroom. So I just take all my clothes, I turn the towel warmer on, and I hang all my clothes on the towel.
That causes condensation.
Yeah, but it works. My clothes are dry the next morning. So.
We have dry cleaners. You could take them there.
I thought about that actually. Anyway, Ricky Gervais says in his opening monologue, I think this past Golden Globe award show, he says to the celebrities in it, he says, none of you are in any position to come up here and lecture the public on how they should act or anything else. He's like, so if you win an award, come up here, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off. And that's exactly what these athletes, get the fuck out of here with, I'm not mentally prepared. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, you get paid thousands upon thousands of pounds a week to kick a ball. Now, I'm not saying I can kick the ball, nor am I saying I can let alone kick the ball as well as those guys can. But you're getting paid to play a game. Put things in perspective.
Which is why we're not on £350,000 a week, because we can't do that.
Right? Yeah. So imagine what you're getting to do, but God bless you. Maybe you can teach me a thing or two.
No, listen, I can't kick a ball, but listen, I would pretty much do anything else for $350,000 a week. Yeah,
there's not much I wouldn't do, and Max will attest to that. So,
mate, we had this conversation at the bar the other day. Someone was like, "Would you suck a dick for $1 million?" And I was like, "I'd suck a dick for 10 grand."
Hey, you're lowball yourself way too much.
Listen, I was like, "Put the fucking money in my hand, bro. Put the money in the hand. Put the dick in my mouth. I'm fucking good to go. I need cash."
I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. All right.
I've been said this. A friend of mine used to say this to me before as well about saying, "Oh, would you suck a cock for £1 million?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, I would." And someone was like, "Oh, yeah, but we call gay and everything else." And it's before everything started coming out. And he goes, "Oh, you'll get called all these names." But he turned around and he goes, "Well, what I'd say to these people or these dickheads, I'd say, come here, come with me." He'd show them straight to an ATM and say, "That's why I was sucked a cock." Just showing me bank balance.
Yeah,
open the briefcase up.
Yeah,
see this?
Click.
Yeah.
This
with the picture of me with the dick in my mouth, it'd be like, "That's how happy I am."
and everybody says, "Oh, but you'll get called gay. You'll get called this. You'll get called that." I'm like, "Fuck, man! I already get called that. I may as well have the money to go with it."
This show just went very, very Ryan territory. The kitchen wanker. Right, this is
the kitchen wanker. You need to say that next time it's on Same Old Arsenal USA, just call him the kitchen wanker.
Please start calling him the kitchen wanker.
That's his new name. That is his nickname on Arse Bros, the kitchen wanker.
The kitchen wanker. All right.
Because he masturbates in the kitchen.
I'm about to say, is it self-explanatory? Is it he wanks in the kitchen?
Is it self-explanatory? Right. Yeah.
Basically, when he was young, his theory is they had 2 televisions, right? They had television in the kitchen, and he could get like the shitty, like grainy pornography on one of the channels. So he would go and jack off in the kitchen, right? But his fucking justification was that because the floor was tiled and there were stairs or something, he could hear people coming. So he's like, that was his justification for jacking off in the kitchen.
Yeah, he's close to a sink. There are benefits. He's close to a sink, or a bowl.
Have like some paper towels in there or something.
Yeah, paper towels or a bowl, just in case. You know what I mean?
But
there are utensils there that can help.
Corey, you're in your kitchen, mate. Just go for it.
Just go for a wank.
Corey's like, wait a minute, boys. I need to get the peanut butter.
Sincerity.
I'm gonna put an oven on and just warm it up a little bit. And just,
Tanner, it was the look in Ryan's eye when he told the story. When someone's telling a story and it's been said for effect, and someone's telling a story and that it's absolutely true. There was a sincerity in Ryan's face when he was telling this story about wanking in the kitchen that made it undeniable.
So he's I assume he's going to watch this back on replay, and when he gets to this part, so yeah, because when I introduce him on Tuesday, that's exactly how I'm going to introduce him.
One day when we play Southampton again, we won't talk about Southampton. We'll just exchange wanking stories. How about that? Yeah, we'll make it a long episode like this one for Mike.
Clearly, Corey's never done an Arse Bros monthly, because that does end up being 2.5 hours of telling stories.
Yeah, it's pretty much of just
doing drugs. You shitting yourself, to be fair.
Doing drugs, me shitting myself, and wanking. That's an Arse Bros monthly usually.
Corey needs to join in the next Arse Bros monthly. Then he'll join in.
Yeah.
You'll know.
Jesus,
right. I think on that note,
we got way off the rails.
Yes, we did. And I think on that note, I think we'll end it there. Otherwise, we're going to be on your show's territory.
Yeah.
Not far off in 4 hours, mate. So yeah, we will end it there. Thanks for everyone in the chat for joining. Sorry I couldn't get in everybody's chats at the time. You know, it just rolls on, and I just get listening to everybody's stories and everything else, usually about Ryan wanking in the kitchen and Max shitting himself. So yeah, thanks for joining. We will be back the next game, which is the 29th of this month. It's Arsenal Man U, so it's a big one. Arsenal Man U at home. Big game. Hopefully we'll win the next 2 games. We'll see.
Score predictions.
Score predictions. Thank you for reminding me. Go on, Corey.
2-0 Arsenal.
Which game? Do both. FA Cup and League.
2-0 FA Cup, 2-1 League.
Yep. Tanner?
I'm going to say 2-1 FA Cup in extra time. 2-1 in the league full time, obviously.
Go on, Max.
I'm going to be a horrible cunt. I think we lose both.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I think we're going to lose one, but I don't think it's going to be the FA Cup. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win the FA Cup 2-0.
I think we're going to lose to Man U, and I think the FA Cup, depending on the strength of the team that Southampton put out, if Southampton fancy it, they are going to start dropping down the table now because they don't have the squad depth to maintain what they're doing. They're safe, which means chasing cups now for them is going to be a big thing. I can see Southampton putting out a full squad. I can see Arsenal putting out a less than full squad. Still be a good squad, but a less than full squad. But I reckon Man U will do us.
Let me ask one question of the three of you, real quick. If you had to win, if you were going to win one, lose one, which one would you rather lose?
I would rather win the FA Cup. You only get a chance at 4 cups a year with the holders. FA Cup.
Yeah, FA Cup.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, right now. We're just in the league. Where are we at? You know,
we're nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sort of thinking we need to win every match or whatever. I feel like I resign myself to winning some, losing some. So
I know there's only a few points between us and wherever fourth. I think Max, you mentioned it with your show yesterday with Darren. You know, we were only a few points in between people and stuff like that. There's still a lot of games to play.
My argument with that, Mike,
I don't think we're going to get.
People sit there and they say, "Oh, you're 3 games off 4th," but that means you've got to win 3, and the team who's in 4th has to lose 3.
Hang on.
People think they've just got to win the games.
Not that one team. Every team.
I was thank you, Corey. Everybody in between you and 4th have to start dropping games,
and you have to not drop any games. You have to not drop any games. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not confident that with this one structure we're playing with this one team, even after I saw what we did at Crystal Palace, I still think we're very susceptible for low blocks and to be hit on the counter attack.
Oh yeah,
So I just like that's my brain at the moment. I'm not getting wrapped up in it. I'm like, we've gone on a good run for a little period of time. If you looked at our run, what's coming up, it's a fucking tough run. We could very easily slip back down the table. Or what I think is more likely is who said it? Corey said, we're going to win some, we're going to lose some. We're probably going to be in and around 10th, 9th, 8th. I think that's where we're going to be. FA Cup to get my dick hard, please. Because the Premiership's not going to do it.
Yeah. We have got a really grueling schedule over the next 5-6 games. You know, our next 5-6 games after these 2 is Man United, Wolves, Aston Villa, Leeds. Then we've got Benfica in the Europa, and then Man City after that, then Benfica again. So that's a lot of games, and there's a lot of big. There's some teams in there that they're going to give us a go, definitely.
Oh, they're all going to give us a go, I think.
Exactly. So
I think every team you just mentioned is
But yeah, and as for DWTT, we're going to get that. I did say we're going to lose one, win one. I think we're going to win the FA Cup game. I think we're going to do that 2-1, and I agree with you. It's going to be in that extra time, and I think we're going to lose the league game. I think we're going to lose that 1-0. So there's mine. So yeah, thanks very much for joining again. Thanks for chat, guys. Thank you very much. Tanner, thank you very much for coming in, mate. I know you was running late, but we were running late as well. No problem. Corey, as always, pleasure.
Hijacker.
Max, go fuck yourself. Didn't you want me to do some at the end of this one?
Yeah, put the intro music back on, so that we can, when we edit it, I don't have to add it in. So cap it, and then we can do it without editing it.
Yeah, because you're a lazy twat.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. You all do your own shit. It's your show. I just come in and hijack and start yelling stuff with bad internet.
Yeah. You're not fucking kidding. Again, thanks very much, guys. We'll see you next Friday on the Friday Arse show. Don't forget to join Wednesday's show with Max, Ben, and Manny. That'll be a good one. And then I think you're going to be doing one on Thursday with Darren as well. So there's plenty of content coming up on Arse Brothers.
We might even do one on Tuesday, me and Toby, because we haven't done one for a couple of weeks. We could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It could happen.
Okay, that is a lot of Arse Bros. I don't know if that's too much to say.
Wait till we give Corey his own show, which is going to be called Smooth Jazz with YG Corey. It's just going to be Corey sitting in a room with a brandy balloon of cognac, telling Arse Bros different exploits about different women. He'll be like, you feel me? One time, I had a Japanese Swede. She was half Japanese and half Swede. It was like mixing butter and chocolate milk. That's going to be Corey's show.
That's all he has to do. He doesn't have to speak, doesn't he? Just go in front of the camera and just do this.
I just want to hear Corey say all that, because you saying it back is disturbing. I think Corey could break that down pretty smooth, thoh.
No, I was happy with that, Max. I couldn't.
That's going to be the Saturday Late Show.
That's butter and chocolate milk. I feel my arteries hardening just thinking.
I like to make a little swirl, like a chocolate swirl, in there with some vanilla milk.
Matt, you write my scripts. Yeah, you write it. I'll say it.
The Arse Brothers Saturday Night Late Show.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
For the ladies.
Mike, end it. I'm
ending it now. I'm struggling here. I'm fucking
for the ladies who like balls.
Right. On that note.